In this video, I'm going to talk about the anime called K, or K Project. This anime was written by 7 writers, and this got me very intrigued. So far, I have watched the first 3 episodes, and here are my thoughts about this anime. Everything looks great, except for the main character. It is so bad that you might think that the writers are trolling. The main character looks like a fish out of water. He has no business being with the other characters or in the story. Everyone seems to have a reason or a goal or a motivation except him. He looks like an extra. It's so confusing. He's getting all that screen time for no reason. He has 0 personality, no character traits whatsoever. In fact, even extras in this story are more interesting than the main character. So, how came this to be? Why these writers made the main character to be this bad? Well, we are not going to find the answer story-wise, but business-wise. The job of the writer is not just to write the best story possible, but also to make sure that the story will have an audience. Otherwise, the company will lose money. So their target is the masses and not just the hardcore fans. And the solution that the Japanese writers have come up to this problem is by sacrificing the main character and investing everything in the other characters. These characters are the ones who carry the story. So this way you get both audiences, the dumb ones and the real fans who understand what the story is. The masses don't see the story for what it is. They have 0 interest in the writer and his skills. It is all about the main character because they see themselves in the main character. And for the writers to make this possible, they don't give the main character a personality or any traits. They make the main character the most generic possible. For example, we are not going to hear the main character say that my favorite color is red. That is done because all the people whose favorite color is not red, they will not watch or read the story. Because they cannot see themselves in the main character anymore. That would be a deal breaker. And that's why there are so many main characters in anime and manga that cannot be classified as characters, and let alone good characters. But this is done on purpose, for business reasons. And it is not at all that the writers are not good. But there is no other way. The story is highly likely to fail and not to be successful business-wise. Now, with that being said, let's talk about the story. I'm still going to watch all the episodes despite the problem with the main character because the story looks great and unique. I did not see any other character that was bad or boring or generic. Every character looks really different from one another, and the interaction and the dialogue are really well done and interesting. The powers and what the characters can do are great as well. And this is one of the reasons why the interactions are so interesting. The story takes place in modern Japan, and there are 7 kings that exist at the same time. They have not inherited their titles or given, but each king has a supernatural power and that's what makes them kings. So they are real kings and not fake ones. When I did learn that there are 7 kings in this story, which was written by 7 writers, I started wondering, what if each writer writes for a certain king? And once the writer starts writing for a certain king, he cannot write for other kings. And this is done throughout the story. Every writer has a king under his control. But when it comes to the other characters, they write them together and also the rules and the structure of the story. And once those are established, the writers play chess with each other using these kings. It would be interesting to see if one king can stand above other kings. That would depend on the traits and the personality that the writer has decided for his king. That would be awesome if it is true. I cannot wait to find out. At the beginning of the story, a huge portion of the time is dedicated to the main character. He's accused of murder, but he says that he has not done it. He has no memory whatsoever of what he's been accused of. Now, mystery is good. That always gets our attention, but this does not work when it comes to the characters that you have 0 interest. If the Red King or the Blue King was accused, I would be interested, because they are really interesting characters. While Shiro, well, the things that we know about him are, he's the biggest wimp ever. He asks food from others, and stares at the clouds. Anyway, one of the things that were introduced that is interesting is that the Red King is not stable, or should I say his power is not stable. If he will continue to use his power, he might cause a disaster. The most important thing when it comes to supernatural powers is consequences. whether it is about the user or the people around them or their surroundings. Without consequences, these powers always look fake in the eyes of the audience. Consequences are what makes them real, because as a writer you can come up with anything, there are no rules. But in order to make sense, you need to explain how these powers are affecting everything around the user and the user itself. And that's how the audience can follow along with the story. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.